The Red-Haired Witch. The Curse of the Blood Moon. In the dense forests of the old world, where shadows dance with whispers and ancient secrets lurk beneath the gnarled roots of ancient trees, there dwells a tale of terror woven with threads of scarlet hair and whispered enchantments. It is a story of a red-haired witch whose presence sends shivers down the spines of even the bravest souls who dare to tread too close to her domain. Deep within the heart of the Whispering Woods, where the branches intertwine like fingers grasping at the sky, there stood a small cottage hidden amongst the shadows. Smoke curled lazily from the chimney, weaving patterns in the mist that hung heavy in the air. This was the home of Alara, the red-haired witch whose name was whispered in fear by those who knew of her existence. Alara was a solitary figure, her scarlet locks cascading like flames around her pale face, her eyes the color of emeralds gleaming with secrets untold. She had lived in the forest for as long as anyone could remember, her age a mystery lost to the depths of time. Legend spoke of a curse that had befallen Alara on the night of a blood moon, when the sky turned crimson and the air crackled with dark magic. It was said that on that fateful night, Alara had made a pact with forces beyond mortal comprehension, trading her soul for power beyond reckoning. Since then, the forest had become her domain, and those who dared to cross her path often met a fate worse than death. Tales of travelers disappearing without a trace, their screams echoing through the trees as they were claimed by the witch's dark magic, spread like wildfire through the nearby villages. It was on one such night, when the moon hung low in the sky like a bloated eye watching from above, that a wanderer stumbled upon Alara's cottage. His name was Marcus, a weary traveler with haunted eyes and a past shrouded in mystery. Marcus had heard the whispers of the witch that haunted the forest, but he paid them little heed as he sought shelter from the biting cold that gnawed at his bones. As he approached the cottage, he felt a chill run down his spine, but he pressed on nonetheless, his footsteps muffled by the thick carpet of fallen leaves. When Marcus reached the door of the cottage, he hesitated for a moment before knocking softly, his heart pounding in his chest. To his surprise, the door creaked open of its own accord, revealing the dimly lit interior of the witch's home. Stepping inside, Marcus was greeted by the warm glow of flickering candlelight and the scent of herbs that hung heavy in the air. And there, seated at a small wooden table in the center of the room, was Alara herself, her eyes gleaming with curiosity as she regarded the newcomer. For a long moment, neither spoke, their gazes locked in a silent exchange. Then, finally, Alara broke the silence, her voice like honey dripping from the comb.
"What brings you to my humble abode, traveler?"
she asked, her lips curling into a faint smile. Marcus hesitated, unsure of how to respond. But something in Alara's gaze seemed to draw him in, a magnetic pull that he found himself unable to resist.
"I seek shelter from the night,"
he replied at last, his voice barely more than a whisper. Alara nodded, her smile widening ever so slightly.
"You are welcome to stay,"
she said, gesturing to the empty chair opposite her.
"but you don't know that in this place, nothing is as it seems, and all who enter must pay the price."
And with those words, a pact was sealed between the witch and the wanderer, a bond forged in darkness and bound by blood. As the night wore on, Marcus found himself drawn further into Alara's world, his mind clouded by her whispered enchantments and the heady scent of her magic. He spoke of his travels, of the demons that haunted his dreams and the ghosts that followed in his wake, and she listened intently, her eyes never leaving his face. But as the hours passed and the candle burned low, Marcus began to sense a darkness lurking beneath the surface of the witch's charm. There was something about her that unsettled him, something primal and predatory that sent a shiver down his spine. And then, in the blink of an eye, the illusion shattered, and Marcus found himself staring into the abyss of Alara's true nature. Her smile twisted into a cruel grin, her eyes blazing with a hunger that chilled him to the core.
"You belong to me now, wanderer,"
she whispered, her voice like the hiss of a serpent.
"Your soul is mine to devour, and there is no escape from the depths of my power."
With a cry of fear and desperation, Marcus leapt to his feet, his heart pounding in his chest as he fled from the witch's cottage into the darkness of the forest beyond. He ran faster than he had ever run before, his footsteps echoing through the trees like the drumbeat of his own demise. But no matter how far he ran, he could not escape the witch's grasp. Her magic twisted and turned around him, ensnaring him in a web of shadows from which there was no escape. Just when all hope seemed lost, Marcus stumbled upon a clearing bathed in moonlight, its beauty a stark contrast to the darkness that surrounded it. And there, at the center of the clearing, stood a figure cloaked in white, her face hidden beneath a veil of silver.
"Who are you?"
Marcus asked, his voice hoarse with exhaustion. The figure said nothing, but reached out a hand to him, her touch gentle yet firm. And in that moment, Marcus knew that he had found his salvation. With the mysterious figure's guidance, Marcus journeyed deeper into the heart of the forest, his determination unshaken by the horrors that lurked in the shadows. And finally, after what felt like an eternity, he came face to face with Alara once more, her eyes burning with rage as she confronted him in the clearing where their fate had been sealed.
"You cannot escape me, wanderer,"
she spat, her voice dripping with venom.
"You are mine to command, body and soul."
But Marcus stood tall, his gaze steady as he faced the witch who had once held him captive with her dark magic. And with a strength born of desperation and defiance, he raised his voice in a single, resounding cry.
"I am not yours to command,"
he declared, his words echoing through the trees.
"I am free."
And with those words, the spell was broken, and Alara's power crumbled to dust around her. With a scream of rage and frustration, she vanished into the darkness, leaving Marcus alone in the clearing once more. Epilogue. As the first light of dawn broke over the horizon, Marcus emerged from the forest, his spirit lighter than it had been in years. He knew that he would never forget the horrors he had witnessed in the Whispering Woods, nor the red-haired witch whose name would forever haunt his nightmares. But as he walked away from the forest, Marcus carried with him a newfound sense of strength and resilience, forged in the crucible of darkness and tempered by the light of hope. Though the memory of Alara's crimson spell would linger in his mind, he knew that he had faced his fears and emerged victorious. And as he continued on his journey, he vowed to never again let himself be ensnared by the darkness that lurked in the hearts of men and witches alike. For he had learned that true power lies not in the mastery of magic or the wielding of weapons, but in the courage to confront the shadows within and emerge unbroken, ready to face whatever challenges the future may hold. And so, with the sun at his back and the promise of a new day ahead, Marcus set forth into the unknown, his steps guided by the light of his own indomitable spirit. And though the Whispering Woods would forever remain a place of mystery and danger, He knew that he had faced its darkest depths and emerged victorious, ready to embrace whatever adventures lay ahead on the winding road of destiny. Thanks for watching.